Right then, hello. Going to be doing this video as a bit of a follow-up to my previous video, which was about kind of like the business side of the music industry. Been getting a bit of feedback from people that they are currently distributing their music on like SoundCloud, and knowing how to actually get it out onto other platforms is still a bit of a mystery. And therefore, I thought in this stream we would go over how to distribute music yourself without the need for a record label. Now, people might be thinking, well, why would I do that? Why would I distribute myself when I don't know how to do that? And also, isn't a record label better for you? Well, yes, absolutely it is. There's an argument that you should, any record label really wants to know that you have something about you already, and therefore that you have music in your back pocket or you have a bit of a following. So totally, SoundCloud is a really good way to do that, especially because people can, comment back to you on there. It doesn't make you much money though, right? As we went over last time in my video, SoundCloud is just one of 43 platforms that I distribute to myself, and I would say that Spotify and Apple Music are still on the tips of everyone's tongues as to be the actual, the primary sources, the primary platforms that you distribute to. However, in this, we're going to go over how you can do it yourself, and therefore how you can start making money already, and gaining monthly followers, and gaining listeners, a metric that people will look at when you want to approach a record label. So let's go through essentially how I use two specific distributors for different things, but how similar they are and how easy it is to actually do it yourself. Okay, so with that said, let me switch over, and you should be seeing my my two screens there. So on the left, oh, this is covered by me, isn't it? Hang on, right. Let me move this down a bit. Therefore, there you go. You can see both without my silly head being in the way. There we go. Right. So on the left, we've got SoundOn, which is the distributor for, well, it's TikTok basically. So those who know where TikTok kind of like really came from, it came from China, came from a company with a different name, and then basically kind of turned into TikTok. I think TikTok is essentially a duplicate of the original app that was over in China. And TikTok have TikTok Music. Now, TikTok Music is not available in the UK currently, but it is available worldwide, especially over in Asia and America. So TikTok Music is starting to become a bit like Spotify, a place to find and discover and publish, your own music. So, as I started making music when TikTok was becoming like really, really popular, it was a natural choice, therefore, for me to gravitate towards it. And one of the big advantages is, I think as I showed last time, is that if you are distributing your music on TikTok, then you get the artist moniker underneath your profile, and you get access to a new tab there, which is the music tab. There we go. And on there, you can have all of your music for other people to actually use in their own videos. And when you do that, you get paid. Right? It's as simple as that. So it only takes, one of your songs to be used on a video that goes viral, and you will make some money, right? So there's no downside to doing this. Ditto, on the other hand, is for releasing music on on Beatport. Okay, so SoundOn doesn't allow you to release to digital stores. It releases to digital streaming platforms, DSPs. Okay, to get your music onto Beatport, you do need to have a record label, and there are a few different companies that you can use to do that. But as far as I've found, they are all curated experiences, so therefore they want to have a look at all your music that you have currently. They want to see if you are an actual registered company with Companies House here in the UK. They want to see whether you've got copyright, etc., etc. All the legal, practical things that you do need to do if you are setting up a label. With Ditto, some of that is bypassed. So let's go through kind of what the advantages are. So with SoundOn on the left hand side here, I'm going to zoom in slightly so you can see it a bit better. You get an overview of like how your music's doing. You get a list of all the releases that you've got and all the tracks within an EP or within an album like you've got there. You get ways to promote your music. So the Breakthrough program allows you to essentially state whether you want your music to be part of the Breakthrough program, and then it is qualified by the team over there as to whether it is actually good enough. That's just so they don't just get every piece of music sent through to them. That only like the good quality ones gets selected. And you get paid, basically there's a different kind of like royalty split here. I think I'm on the 80-20 split, so TikTok will make 20% of every stream and every view on their platform, which is fine. Like, I'm completely okay with that, which is okay. And some other ways that like promoting yourself, etc. You got your analytics and earnings, so how well your music is doing. So you can see over here I've had almost 100,000 views over the last month, 9,000 streams on TikTok alone. And if you look at like the last year, you can see the growth there. It started with next to nothing, and then grows here, and then 3 months later grows again, and then I'm just going through another growth spurt again. So yeah, you can kind of imagine that by the end of, where are we now? March, April, May. By the time summer comes around, it's going to get another bump up there, and starting to get into the tens of thousands, which is great. That's I'm nobody, but this shows, growth. Okay. So basically, let's go through the process here. So very similar, you'll see here, upload a single song or an EP. Over on Ditto, Ditto, I didn't go through this, but Ditto is very simple. Royalties, analytics, promotion, which is pretty much the same tabs as there are here. So this is why I wanted to go through and show they are pretty identical. So we'll go with single song on SoundOn, and we'll go with an electronic dance music release over here. So let's just put something temporary. So temporary track. There we go. Create a temporary track there. I'm gonna throw in a random file in here. Let's choose that. That's not mine, but I'm obviously not going to release this. And then you start putting in your details. So you start saying, right, the name of the track is called Temporary Track. It's in English. It is not a remix. It's not a live version, from like a concert or something like that. It's not an acoustic. It's not a remaster. It's just a normal track. If you did do a remix, obviously you'd put remix in there, or the name of the remix. So like, Andy's 174 BPM mashup or something like that. The genre you choose here. Now, I do drum and bass, and SoundOn do not have a drum and bass category, so you choose electronic there, and then from the subgenre you can then choose drum and bass from there. Over on Ditto, it goes through the copyright stuff on there first, and then you choose your artist from there. So here I'm going to choose my artist as well. So me, there we go. And it will check your Spotify credentials and your Apple Music credentials to make sure that the music does get released to the correct artist. Same thing over here on Ditto as well. It makes sure that the artist that you are using is actually you and has been verified by Spotify and Apple. Over to let's have a look through here. So there's no featured artists or contributors, but you do have to put these in. So this is brand new. I don't know why something has changed here, but yeah, you do need to put yourself in as why is it doing that? Oh, I've put myself in as a featured artist, that's why. Sorry, contributor. Yeah, so I will say I am the God, there's not much choice here, is there? God, what's a good choice to put in here? Well, none of these are really appropriate, to be honest. Programmer? Hang on, let's undo that. Let's put production role in instead. Okay, so mastering engineer. Boom, easy one. Me, submit. Off we go. Songwriter will be I am the songwriter. Instrumental, that'll be obviously depending on whether it is a vocal or a instrumental track. Let's say no, just to make sure that we can fill in the lyrics. Same here as well, so I'll just go back over here. Genre, far more options here in Ditto because it is a electronic dance music store, and therefore far more related to the dance music scene, so there's far more options here. So I'm going to go with drum and bass to start with, and then drum and bass. Usually I would do dance floor. Where's dance floor? No, they haven't got dance floor there, so vocal dance floor. There we go. Next, this is where I'm going to upload the same file that I was just using just now. So slight different flow here between the two services, but very, very similar. I'm not putting an explicit version up there. I'm going to carry on without uploading any copyright documentation, which is fine. Come on, I want to get through to the next. Right, here we go. So I'm going to edit this. Track artists. Right, so this is where you put the same kind of information as you did over here. So they're both asking for relative information. So songwriter, this is going to be me. And I can put myself in as composer. Let's go. Production engineer is me as well. And I'll put myself in as producer. And performer, me. And I'll put myself in as DJ, I think is the option. Where is it? DJ. See, they haven't got DJ in this list. If we go back. Where was it? Yeah, they haven't got DJ in this list. No, they don't. So yeah, let's cancel that. Okay, lyrics. So where do you put lyrics in there? There's no explicit content in there. Do you want to add lyrics? Yes. So this is where you put your lyrics in. So I have yeah. There we go. Okay. And the same thing here. So English, explicit, non-explicit. Clean means if you've got an explicit song and you've dubbed over the actual bad words, the naughty words. So it's when you release a song which doesn't have any explicit lyrics in, it's non-explicit as opposed to clean. Clean is a clean version of a dirty song, right? So let's just put the same lyrics in here. Lyricist, I'm the lyricist again. Record label. So this is where you can put essentially, your copyright and publishing line in here. So if you want to put that in, you can. So for me, that is Shuriken Rose. We'll get to that in Ditto in a minute. Carry on to the next page. Okay, over there we are good here. Tracks contains licensed content. No, it doesn't. If you are, you know, using licensed samples, so if you take a track from the Bee Gees or Michael Jackson or something classic, right, and you start using it in your track, you will need to provide copyright information in order to show that you have the legal rights to actually do that. I think it was over on Ditto as well just a minute ago. Cover arts, so you can generate cover art yourself. I personally, do it myself. So if I go to my computer here, I've got all my cover art here that I've made. Let's just use this one for now. Submit that. I think I missed it out on this one. Let's go back to tracks. Yeah, no, I didn't. Okay, did I? Maybe have I missed the artwork? Yes, I did. Yes, I've got to put my artwork in there. I did miss it out. Let's put a different one in there just to be annoying. Right, there we go. Next and next. Okay, was it previously released? No. Will I generate a UPC code for you? I will generate a UPC code for you if I don't have one. So if you have released music already on a previous label, like Taylor Swift has or whoever, right, and you want to re-release it, you will already have a code which defines what that piece of music actually is. So that's where you can actually put that code in. Same for the ISRC, which is a boring code that tells people essentially what your music is and the recordings for it. So now I'm just going to say generate brand new ones. Next. Ooh, let's fix those errors. What have I forgotten here? Oh, right. Okay. So when you are browsing on TikTok and on like Instagram, you will know, when you go to add a track, add a piece of music in Instagram there. Yep. So when you're scrolling there, you will get a small preview of the music, when you play it. So okay, so this is where you get to actually trim that that music there and choose what that preview actually is. So let's just, I don't know, just drag it any old place. There we go. Confirm. Between 50 and 60 seconds. Okay, so let's choose that. That's fine. Wait for that to upload. Were there any other areas? Oh, you need to add one contributor here. So let's just put... oh, God, really? Back to this again. What do you choose then? I'm just going to put programmer because none of these are relevant for drum and bass. Drums. There you go. Stupid. Let's just do drums, which is ridiculous. Right, that should allow me to go on to the next page. Right, release time. So this is where both services are now in sync. So I can set when I want my track to come out now. So from when I initially started releasing things, I was spotting that Apple, it was never out on Apple on the same day that it actually came out on every other platform. It's because Apple, because they're a bit more posh about things and a bit more curatey about this stuff, they were taking much longer to get my music uploaded to Apple and verified and all of that kind of like stuff, getting everything in place than any other platform was. So here I was on release day looking at SoundCloud and it's there, looking on Spotify and it's there, looking on Deezer and it's there, etc, etc, and Apple was languishing behind and I couldn't work out why. And over time I've realized that, and I've heard from other people as well, you need a good 6 weeks before you're uploading here and when your song wants to come out. Reason being, it's because it takes all these other platforms, as I said, like 43 other platforms. It takes them time to get it in the books, get it in the system, prepare for a release, etc., and then get it, get it actually out there. And that's especially useful because these DSPs, you can also pitch your song to them, and they for support when it comes out. There's hundreds of tracks that come out, thousands of tracks that come out every single day, right, in your particular genre. When I release a drum and bass track on a Friday, there's 200 other songs that come out on that day, which is crazy, right? So you can kind of cut through the noise a little bit by pitching your release to these platforms, and they will put it on certain playlists, or they may want to interview you about the actual track release, or they may provide it a little bit of extra kind of space on, especially on Apple, where they've got the For You page or tab. The new tab there, showcases people's music that has come out today. You could be on there if your music it has been pitched correctly and someone over at Apple actually believes in you. It's absolutely possible to do that. I've had my music on the top banner on Beatport previously, which is fantastic. Way more opportunity for people to actually click on it, way more chance of people clicking on it, and for you to get more streams from that than by trying to rush the release out there and not getting on those playlists, or not having those people at those DSPs supporting you there. So 6 weeks, I would say. So you can say whether you want it to be a global release or a local release. I don't know why you'd do a local release first, to be honest. Release date, therefore, you should be, today is the 18th, right? So you really should be counting 6 weeks later. So that's going to be, let's just go with the 22nd of April. Let's go with the 29th, Let's not release on a Friday. Let's release on a Tuesday. So 29th of April. I release generally at midnight. Why not? What's the point of waiting till 9 in the morning when people are already on their work commute? What's the point of waiting till 6 p.m. at night when people are on their work commute home? What's the point? So you may as well just release at midnight. You can release on SoundOn before it comes out in the stores. Sorry, not stores, platforms, right? And the advantage of this is that when you're trying to promote your music, it's hard to tell people about the music without them being able to listen to it already, right? The music's not out yet, so people can't listen to it. Whenever you send a Linktree link out, I don't know whether other people do this as well, but on your Linktree, when you click on a link to a piece of your music, it generally goes to a page like this. I click on the one that I happen to click on the one that doesn't do it. Right, you get a link, you get a thing like that. You can't actually hear the music, on there. That play button only appears once the music's actually out and you can actually listen to it, right? So it's difficult to say, hey, go pre-save my music when you can't actually hear it. Therefore, if you can pre-release it over on TikTok, then people can, one, not only hear it before it comes out, but two, you can actually attach it to your videos, like in the background or something, or even make a music video of it and have the actual music linked there, and people can listen to it before it even comes out, which is awesome. People can start using it in their videos. So you could say, you can have a little competition of whoever does the best video with my music ahead of release, gets a video call from me, or gets a cake sent to their house or something. I don't know, right? So there's advantages to doing that. So you can say, yeah, I actually want to release this. If this comes out on the 29th of April, I want it out for people to use the week before, which would be super cool, right? Okay, let's do the same thing on Ditto. So let's say, again, we want it to be out on April 29th. There we go. Now, on this, you can there is a queue, like it's saying here. There is a queue for me submitting my music today. It goes into a big backlog, and someone over at Ditto manually goes through these things. So you can actually pay for a quicker skip through the queue for that process. I'm going for 6 to 7 weeks in advance, so I don't need to actually skip that queue, but you can skip it if you want. Set release time? No. What's the point? Would you like to country restrictions? No. Has this been released before? No. Now, Ditto do offer the additional ability to register your music for the official charts, right? So, the ones that you hear on Radio 1, on a Friday, I think it is. You might want to do that. I've done it with my vocal tracks because I'm also submitting to BBC Introducing, which we went over in the last stream. So anything that I believe has a chance of getting Radio 1 airplay, because it is quite mainstream and it's vocals and melodic and it's quite nice, you could easily have it between an Ed Sheeran track and a Beyonce track, that kind of thing. Like, I would register it, those tracks. I wouldn't bother registering anything which is hardcore techno or gritty jump up, or anything with frog basses and lasers. I would not bother, because it's never going to make the charts, right? Even Chase and Status don't make, music like that hits the top 40. So yeah, you can register for the charts here, but yeah, I'm not going to. Right, so let's move on. Now we get to the point where we have to choose the stores, the actual platforms that we distribute to. Okay, so as I said, on SoundOn, I distribute to about 43 platforms here. It actually says 35 there, which is weird, but there's 43. I select all of them, right? So, there's 43 now. Okay, right. So, Spotify and Apple Music, obviously the big ones. Amazon, we went over last stream. It's their system is awful. I think the only advantage is that people can say, Alexa, please play me blah blah blah. I don't know how many people are actually playing music via that. I don't know how many people are actually on Amazon Music. I'd love to find out what the stats are there. The other ones are Meta, so you can listen to the music on Meta, but also find the music on Meta, so Meta Quest, and also when you're asking I think it's called the Portal, which is their kind of Alexa equivalent. You can listen to it on there. Peloton is a big one, actually, especially with dance music, especially for drum and bass, which is very energetic and is there to motivate you to go faster. That Peloton is had some interesting analytic through from Peloton, which is quite good. YouTube Music, again, this means that anybody who listens to your music on YouTube, you get some money back for, and again, YouTube is pretty good. A lot of the kids, and I mean kids like 14-year-olds, they listen to music on YouTube because it's free, right? A lot of the others are very specific for different countries. iHeartRadio, for example, has just had their awards the other night, which is super cool here in the UK. NetEase is massive over in China. SoundCloud is obviously huge. You go to a gig, 9 times out of 10, the punters there will say that SoundCloud is their preferred digital streaming platform of choice because it's free, and also because you can comment and have a little bit of a conversation with the actual artist, which is super cool. You can't really do that on Spotify, right? Tidal pays you more, so Tidal gives you way more percentage revenue of your music than anyone else, which is, I want to say it's 30%. I think it's actually dependent on how many streams you get, but it's way more than the others. Sorry, not 30%. 0.03 per stream as opposed to 0.003 per stream. That's where I was getting the 3 from. And then everyone else is for various different countries like Turkey and Japan and other places. Deezer's quite good as well. So I select all of them, press next. I have 100% of the publishing rights because it's me, I'm the producer here, I'm the artist, I'm the composer, the lyricist, etc., etc. I do not have an existing publisher who's already doing this. I haven't registered this with with ProCMO. That is for music licensing. God, so for TV and film and stuff like that. We could do a whole other stream about that. So for this purposes of this, I'm going to say no. Although we can obviously go through that on another stream. Do I want it to be? Do I want the full songs to be available on ByteDance? ByteDance is the owning company of TikTok. So yep, of course I do. That's absolutely fine. I want to monetize this. I want to monetize it on YouTube. Oh god, it's going to give me a great big yeah, blah 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 blah. Yes, fine. I want to monetize it on YouTube, and I want to monetize it on CapCut. CapCut is again owned by ByteDance, so they're all part of the same company that TikTok is part of. So yeah, absolutely, why would I not want to do that? Over on Ditto, now, because for the purposes of this video, I'm kind of distributing the same song. So on this one over here, I don't want it to be on all of these. I want it to be on the download only stores, right? So I'm going to untick all of the things here. Now you see there's a few more, there's more than the 43 that were listed over there. There's a few that I've not seen before, like, oh, where was it? Broad time. Like, what's that? I've no idea on that. So you might want to go, broad time wasn't selected over on the SoundOn one, but I will select it over here. But the one I do want is Beatport. Okay, so I'm basically saying do not put this on any of the streaming services, because SoundOn is dealing with all the streaming services. Yeah, on Ditto, I'm going to deal with just Beatport. And as you'll see, it says you need a label to set your music up on over on Beatport. So you need to, if you don't have a label, there is a whole other path that you would now go down to actually start that record label, and getting it verified, etc, etc, etc. But once you've done that, yep, you can then select it from the list there, then press next, and press next over here, and then this is the final page. So I'm obviously not going to press publish on this because this is a mess, but you'll see here it says the selected platforms that you've done, when the track is coming out, you've got your artwork, you've got your pre-release information on there, you're monetizing the entire thing, it's in the genre that you want there, it's got the people listed that it requires. Same thing over here, it's got the genre. This has a secondary genre, which is great. It's got the copyright information in there, which I should be the label actually, so I'd have to go back there and fix that. It's in the medium price band, meaning, I think it's a couple of quid. £1.79 I think is the actual. In fact, we can actually check, can't we? Let's check. I'm sure it's £1.79. Andy Tudor, £1.30. Okay, £1.30. £1.79 must be the other one. Oh, that one's £1.14. I've no idea then, in that case. I thought it was £1.79. Obviously not. The release date for when you want it to come out, the label it's on, etc., what the actual track is, and then I would press complete release and submit there. I'm obviously not going to. When you do it, it goes into this one here. So I'm actually going to delete. I'm going to discard this just so I don't accidentally press submit one day. Okay, it goes into this list here. It will have a pending label over it when it is being worked on by Ditto, and I've found that takes about 7 days. So it takes them 7 days to basically check all the information, check the copyright information that you've sent on there, make sure the artwork doesn't have disgusting things on there, and it's it's all copyright free, etc, etc. So it will have pending there, and then when it's finished, it will then say sent to stores, and then you've obviously then got to wait for your release day to then get it actually visible in Beatport. Again, I'm gonna forget this. It's the same thing over here, so leave without saving. So it'll be the same thing here. It'll say release status live. So once it's done, it'll say release status. I think it's like in progress. I think it says. when it is in progress, or submitting. That's it, submitting. And when it goes live, it then goes live. When it does go live, you're going to get analytics from how many people are. Well, first of all, you're going to get a link to the actual thing, so you can send that link to people and get them to pre-save it, etc., etc. You can then click that link, and then you're also going to get analytics back from that link to say how many people have actually pre-saved it. So this is brilliant, so that you can essentially put the link out there, and then you can track how many people actually clicked on that link, and therefore how well you think that song's going to do. So over the pre-save, the pre-order kind of like time, you know, that 6-week period before it comes out, you can generally get a gauge of how well it's doing. Remember, people can't hear it just yet, so it's up to you to be on socials actually, you know, promoting the track and ensuring that you get people behind it. So, but in the meantime, you can at least see, is it doing better than my previous track at the same time? You know, if I've got a previous track which had 2,000 pre-saves, you know, and this one's got 1,000, it's like, have I done something wrong here? Have I not promoted it enough? Has my audience shrank? Hopefully not. But if it's doing 3,000, you will get a sense of, you know, that your audience is growing, or something's right about this, or you're doing something well on socials to support this, and you're growing as an artist. So the analytics there are like really interesting during the pre-save process. You will get another button as well. I don't even know whether this is available now. Oh, it is. Brilliant. So you can say, right, pitch this to release the DSPs. In fact, let's do this. Can I click on it here as well? Probably not. No, not anymore. Okay, let's do it over on... In fact, let's close Ditto. And we'll go solely into SoundOn now. So when you promote you know what? I'm going to stop there, actually. We can go into this and how to promote your songs in a whole other video, which will take another half hour or something like that. So yeah, let's stop there, actually, because promotion and all that kind of stuff, you know, doesn't include just pitching. It requires, you know, setting up your canvas over on Spotify. It requires jumping onto like Discords, telling people about it, doing a music video, using a company called like Unheard or Sound Campaign or Boost Collective or something like that to get them aware of the actual track as well. So yeah, let's do pitching in a totally different stream. But yeah, hopefully that goes through how you can use both platforms to do different things, but they're very similar in kind of what they're asking for. And I don't know how long I've been talking for, but we've done it in half an hour, right? Including stopping and me waffling on. But basically, yeah, as long as you've got the music and you have the artwork, you basically have the two things that are required to submit your music. The other is obviously a record label. We'll go through how to set up a record label in another stream as well, because that's fairly easy, but it's worth doing a dedicated video about it, so people can just go to that one and watch that one instead of like scrolling through 40 minutes of me talking absolute nonsense. But yeah, it's doable. So for those people that are just doing their distribution on SoundCloud like right now, hopefully this has shown actually distributing your music to the big guys can easily be done. You know, as long as you've got the music, you can then set a little clip, generate some artwork, and then say, right, yep, distribute it out there to all the various people. And once it's there, it's there. Once it's out there, it's earning money, potentially, right? Depending on how popular you are or how good the music is. And it's there forevermore. This is the kind of like the passive income thing that people like try to chase all their life, you know, and it's part of your legacy, right? You know, the music that I've got out there will be around, hopefully, far long after I'm dead, right? And whilst it's out there, you know, potentially new people are hearing it, and It's growing me as an artist, and it's something that I can point record labels to, that hey, I've done this, it's out there, it's getting a hearing from people, I'm getting a following, I'm building a community, I'm growing as a person, the music that I put out next is better than the previous version that I did, etc., etc. So yeah, there should be nothing scary about distributing your own music and getting it out there. It's very, very simple to do, as hopefully I've shown. But if there is something I haven't covered, then let me know in the comments, and we can do it in another stream. But for now, get out there and do it, right? Hopefully you'll subscribe to this channel. Give me a thumbs up if you thought that it was useful. And there's going to be a few more of these. Next one we'll probably go through potentially how to pitch your music to the various platforms and kind of promote your music in advance of it coming out. But for now, let's leave it there. All the best, and I will see you